Hello again and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. I am Zarkoon, and today I've got a video for you in the Tier 6 Royal Navy battleship, the King George, on the map Estuary in Capture the Base mode. Now, this is a game which contains a rare enough phenomenon in online competitive multiplayer gaming, and the phenomenon is this. It is a never-before-seen phenomenon, rarer than a Charlemagne in this game, alright? It is when two players are on exactly the same page and know exactly what each of them needs to do in order to win the game, and then both of them do exactly what they need to do to win the game. Now, are they successful in their attempts? That I will not spoil for you. No, if you want to find out, then you'll have to stay tuned till the end. But I will tell you that I am one of the two players in this King George here. So, here we have spawned on the left flank of Estuary. The spawns, of course, have been updated to be moved back. It used to be that you could spawn here and pretty much immediately be spotted. That is no longer the case. The Tirpitz, though, is moving forward and has been spotted. He is taking shots from enemies that he cannot see. I advised him that perhaps he might want to consider getting back, but instead he told me that he needs my support, and I said, alright, fair enough. Perhaps I was too hasty in my suggestion to get back, and perhaps you will have more success if I come out and support you. And so I will do that. And now, a couple things about this King George. I cannot decide whether this is a ship I really like, or whether it is a ship I really don't like. I have games in it, like this game, that you're about to see play out on your screen here, and I think, oh yes, I really do like this ship. And then I have games where I think, nope, I really don't like this ship. And I think part of the reason for that is because, now I might be wrong about this, but this is how it feels when I'm playing this ship, that this ship takes more superstructure damage from AP penetrations from battleships than other battleships do. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I mean, look at this. I guess this is a thing across the entire Royal Navy line, but it's like this King George is a giant British castle on its superstructure, and it just eats AP penetrations from other battleships. And, you know, speaking of armor piercing versus high explosive shell selection, I'm sure that Nuremberg thought, oh, it's just a King George, he's just going to be firing HE at me. No, not the case there, Mr. Nuremberg. No sir, I'm going to be firing AP at broadside cruisers like this, and I'm going to get, you know, fairly decently rewarded, because the King George, it does have small guns for a battleship, 356 millimeter, but it also has that lovely British armor-piercing shell characteristics, you know, the short-fused armor-piercing shells, which arm a lot faster than the shells on other nations' battleships, and therefore have time to arm when they hit the broadside of a cruiser and score actual penetrations. But don't be mistaken, they can also get 14k hits on broadside battleships at ranges of 13 kilometers and probably more. So I am going to be firing a fair bit of AP in this game, and you know, you can even fire AP at a Benson like this if he's angled, and if he is angled, your shells are actually, you know, likely to arm and get real penetrations just like those did. Now I'm switching to HE though, in order to get more shots on this Benson, because that is probably the proper shell selection. Wow, say that, shell selection. What a tongue twister. Alright, now Benson is dead, so firing off the HE at the Tirpitz out there, who is sitting broadside, but I am going to be switching to AP, because that's just going to be more effective. I tend to shoot quite a fair amount of AP in the King George, despite the fact that it has wonderful HE shell characteristics. I mean, you saw there that was a 6,000 damage hit on that Tirpitz, and it started a fire. I could shoot HE again, and perhaps I should have, since those shells did hit the island, but, you know, I score 5,000 damage salvo there. Not, you know, record-shattering, but pretty good. Now that York, he is in the friendly base. He is attempting to cap. He has taken out a Vanguard, and I have access to his broadside, so one salvo out does hit him. Doesn't do much damage, though. And now the front guns are reloaded and clear of the island, so they are shot. And they hit him for a Citadel and take him out. How nice, right? So, you know, when you're in the King George, don't just fire HE all the time. Consider firing the AP. You're gonna probably get some good results, especially if you got broadside cruisers to shoot at and broadside battleships. Of course, definitely shoot the HE at angled battleships. The fire starting chance is fantastic, and if you're going to get into a duel with an entrenched battleship, then yes, you do want to fire HE at them to start a fire. But you see there, we did hit the Bismarck's gun and disable it temporarily, and we still got the AP loaded, and he's giving us a decent angle to pen him. This shot does Citadel damage, and he is, you know, he's rapidly lost some HP there. I think when we started this engagement, he was nearly at full health. Now he is around half health. He's turning in now, though, so that is going to reduce the effectiveness of my AP. But I will tell you, oh, look at that, we permanently took out one of his guns there. Alright, I will tell you, though, that my commander build, which perhaps I should have shown you before the start of this battle, how irresponsible of me, but my commander build is, of course, I'm running Cunningham. He's at a level 15, which drastically improves his base trait, which increases the precision of the battleship's guns, so this is a fairly accurate ship. I wanted to raise him up with promotion orders to a high level, because I do use Cunningham as an inspiration for, I think, every single one of my battleship commanders throughout the other nations. You can never improve the accuracy of your battleship too much. All of them, every single one, even the most accurate, can benefit from improved precision. But the key here is that throughout the Royal Navy line, up until the King George, I never found it necessary to use the HE too much. And particularly on the Warspite and the Queen Elizabeth, the AP is fine. Even on the Queen Elizabeth, it's fine. So I wanted to buff the characteristics of the AP, which is why the inspirations I have on Cunningham are Jaujard for the increased penetration and Ciliax for the increased AP damage. Now those are two inspirations on this commander that have absolutely nothing to do with high explosive shells and benefit the high explosive shell characteristics in absolutely no way. So if I don't fire AP in the King George, I am not taking advantage of the two inspirations that I have on Cunningham. And those two inspirations seem to make the AP a little bit probably more effective. If you are not running high-level Jaujard and high-level Cunningham, and by high-level I mean level 11, so decently leveled, on a level 15 Cunningham, perhaps you are not going to get the same results with the AP that I'm getting there. So take that as a little bit of a disclaimer. It may be that the AP shell characteristics are worse if you are not running those inspirations on Cunningham. And that could very well be the case, which is potentially why more people tend to shoot HE all the time in this King George. I tend to switch back and forth depending on the situation. Now, I could perhaps switch to Richard Madden as the captain for the ship in order to get the reload time down on the ship. I think that would be a benefit to this ship, because you do need to switch your shell types a lot, and it helps doing that when the base reload of the guns is reduced, although it's already fairly quick by battleship standards. Anyway, we've got a Tirpitz capping the base. We've got a Kagero over there who is just smoked up. The Kagero is back. We are down to 4 versus 3 ships, but immediately the Tirpitz takes out the York, the Richelieu takes out the other thing, and yeah, we're down to 2 versus 2. How did that happen? Oh, look at that. That shot on the Kagero nets us the Confederate medal. We're at 133,000 damage, and the last 2 ships left alive are me and an Atlanta, who is in the enemy base. So the Atlanta has taken out the Kagero. Great. And I am left to square off against this Tirpitz. I have very low health. The Tirpitz has relatively high health, although he's down to about half. That shot there resets his capture progress, and the Atlanta is beginning to cap the enemy base. Now, I know that I can sit here as long as I can remain alive and reset this Tirpitz, and if I can do that, and the Atlanta can capture the enemy base unmolested by this Tirpitz, then we will win. So I tell him, just, go ahead and cap the enemy base. I will shoot this Tirpitz. He was shooting at the Tirpitz. I was worried he'd be more interested in shooting at the Tirpitz than capping the base. But no, we are on the same page. We know what we need to do. There, I citadel the Tirpitz. He is down to pretty low health now, but I only have 584 health left, and I was considering turning to get my rear gun in the game, but I did not. The Tirpitz takes me out, but my resetting his capture progress and my presence in the base prevented him from accumulating too much progress, and you can see the Atlanta is nearly halfway through to capping the base. So we have a major advantage here. As long as the Atlanta is not spotted by the Tirpitz, he could potentially win here. But the Tirpitz also has an easy time of winning. I mean, it's a very low health Atlanta that is capping his base, and on Estuary, the map is pretty small, and the bases are essentially right next to each other. The only thing separating them is an island. So all the Tirpitz has to do is change course. Tirpitz is pretty fast. It can sail through the gap between those islands, spot the Atlanta, and hit it, reset its capture progress, and then hit it again and probably kill it. I mean, it could probably kill it in one shot. But for whatever reason, the Tirpitz decides that his best course of action is simply to stay in our base and continue capping it. But he is never going to cap it before the Atlanta captures his base. I reset him too much. I was inside the base, and I prevented him from accumulating capture points, all the while the Atlanta was sitting uncontested in the Tirpitz's base and capping. So together, the Atlanta and I have won this game. I mean, he has technically won this game by sitting in here and capping, doing exactly what he needed to do, and I helped him out by resetting that Tirpitz and stopping the Tirpitz from accumulating capture progress. So, a rare, beautiful display of teamwork where 2 players knew exactly what they needed to do to win the game. This Atlanta is not being a fool and trying to get more damage, which is always a possibility. He is capping the base, he has captured it, and now we have won. So, there you go. Beautiful display of teamwork, 2 players being on the same page. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel. A lot of World of Warships Legends content coming all the time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.